We have our FED assistant, Michelle Tackett. We have our director, Bernadette Herrera, Ryan Shoemaker, and Ben Lambert. Also, we have Randy Wood as vice president, and Rachel Draper with the Wilson County News.
Yes. Father in heaven, we ask for your wisdom as we begin this meeting. We acknowledge that we need your wisdom and insights, and we welcome your presence among us. Guide us in our discussions and decisions, helping us to seek what is best for the city of Floresville and all involved. Amen.
Amen. Pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Very well, do we have any public comments? Do you have something for us? Public comments? Very well, item number 6, presentation discussion, the open rewards program and marketing campaign.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for having me. We've been hard at work with this adoption campaign. It's been extremely successful in my opinion. Not just because I ran it, but because we worked so well together with Michelle, Charlotte, the local business owners, especially the business owners that are downtown, especially the top 5 participants. Right now, I'm just going to quick go over an overview just to kind of start foundationally and then share some numbers because the numbers really are the key factors. So the Blue Dot Open Rewards program had already been launched, but there hadn't been a social media campaign attached to it. So there really wasn't a lot of tracking parameters. And so now we have a campaign, now we have tracking parameters that support just analytically the program. So right now, we ran a 4 to 5 week program from November the 10th, 2025 to January 1st. Strategically, we provided, development marketing provided a calendar. Charlotte and I sat down and went over the calendar, talked about things that worked really well for downtown and the retail the businesses. So right now we're looking at an increased awareness in the Blue Dot program. So our main goal was to educate people about it because people, I always say a confused brain says no. And so they were a little bit confused as to how it worked and, oh, there's an app. Oh, I have to link my bank account. So we very clearly went through the steps with graphics, infographics. We shared infographics in like step 1. Here's what you need to do. Download the app. Here's how you create a profile. And so we just very, very, very dumbed it down. That sounds bad, but we did. We had to. So right now, the platforms that we were talking about the Blue Dot program were Facebook and Instagram. And so the numbers that you'll see on the next page reflect the messaging. And overall, our total reach, if you look on page 2, is 11,000 people. And so our average reach per post, so we did 11 strategic posts. And so each post got in front of essentially 1,000 people. And so the highest reaching post was actually the one where we shared the top 5 retailers. That one got the most engagement, the most views, the most likes, comments, and the most shares. Overall, the visibility trend is growing. And so right now, it's imperative to keep that going. So I don't know if we have somebody on board, on Michelle maybe, to take the social media over and keep talking about this program. Don't let it drop. So that would be one thing to consider. The other thing is government entities, you see really low numbers. And so right now, you guys are in the mid-range, which is very exciting because it obviously performed well. And so the numbers that we're talking about right now usually are in like 2,000 views or 7,000 views. Usually it relates to the population of the town. Right now, we're pulling in at 67 views, which is pretty incredible in my opinion. And they're organic, which means that they're not paid. So we're not doing Google ads and we're not boosting, we're not throwing any money at these ads in order to reach these people. So that kind of just goes to show that the interactions are pure. Okay, and then, so number 7, engagement performance, just this means how many people have liked, commented, and shared. It was 955, and so that's an overall increase of 286%. The growth of the Facebook page, we gained 56 people, which that's not super high, but it's not super low. And again, like if you were to continue to run campaigns, especially during times of retail sales, because we're talking about businesses, dining, it's kind of like an anytime thing, but for holidays like Valentine's Day, like we had just run Christmas, that was a really good time to run a campaign. So anything around holidays would be a really great time to run another campaign. Okay, and then I'm gonna skip over some stuff here. So key learning and impact. So because we talked about this program step by step, and we were very clear about our communication, the repetition was there. More repetition, the better. People remember. And then also, we supported local businesses, which was our overall goal, through increasing the visibility of the program. And then number 10, recommendations and next steps. I kind of touched on this already, but it's imperative that we continue social media, just activity, any activity. Talk about the program, respond to comments, respond to messages that are being sent to the FEDC. And then again, like that repetition is really gonna hone it in. And so what you post yesterday is already forgotten. So I'm not saying that the program's forgotten or the campaign's forgotten, but in order to stay in front of people, in front of their minds, because everybody has a lot going on, you wanna be consistent about your posting and activity on Facebook. Okay, and then I would say, like I said earlier, just get somebody that would handle that, the FEDC social media, if you don't already have someone doing it. And then feature participating businesses, because like I said, that was one of the posts that really gained a lot of attention. And so that, whatever following your feature, so we feature sisters, they've got a huge following. So in turn, that following that they have, that we don't have, we're getting in front of that many people, and I think it's like 23,000 people or something ridiculous. So, just think about that when you think about highlighting a participating business. And then boosting posts might be a good idea in the future, and I'm talking like $5 a day for 7 days. So it's not very much, but you're getting in front of people that you can designate, okay, I wanna get in front of the people from ages 25 to 75, and I want predominantly men or women for this area. So 25-mile radius within, Floresville or Wilson County, however you wanna do it to get in front of people. And that would be considered paid ads, not organic ads. Okay, and then page 3, that is a snapshot, what you're looking at. So total number of views is 67,000. And so that just means 67,000 times your ads were viewed, not people. So, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Okay. So, people would be 11,000. So those 11,000 people that we got in front of viewed it 67,000 times. Okay. And then in the red circle, that is your top performing ad that we were talking about, the top 5 retailers. And so, one of the reasons why I think it performed so well is because those retailers shared that post. So they shared it with their people and their following. Okay, and then on the next page, just to reiterate, so the views, 67,000 on page 4. The viewers, the number of people that saw our campaign, 11,100. The content interactions, 955. So those are the likes, comments, shares. And then the links clicked. So any link that we had going to Blue Dot program for people to sign up either for the app or to view the cities that are participating, there was 37 people who clicked directly from those posts, those 11 posts. 1,400 visits to the actual Facebook page. That means they sought us out. And then we got, like I said, 56 follows. So that's pretty good. And then on the next page is a screenshot or a snapshot of our social media, some of the graphics that were shared. And that is all. And I am available for questions.
Anybody have questions for Krista? What we at with, we were talking before about like a $5 coupon we were gonna produce, and if you would see the sponsor, where's that at?
That is completely possible. We're researching that right now. We have a open rewards rep. Is it Liz? Okay. And so what we can do, we can go about it 2 ways. And so one way would be completely digital by going through the Blue Dot program. And so it would be through the app. We just set the rules for the coupon. So if we want to encourage shoppers to go to our participating retailers, we send out a mass message via the Blue Dot app or on Facebook or both. And we say, hey, go spend X amount of dollars before this date, and then you will get a $5 or $10 or $20, however many dollar reward you want to do. And so that kind of fast tracks and creates that urgency for people to actually go spend money at these retailers.
But another thought, if we do it the day of, is if we had a booth that was manned and handing in a coupon, it would be easy to, I think it would enhance the market, and it would be easy to track the market's bringing these people to town, because here's a, da-da-da.
Definitely, and I see what you're saying, like you would be rewarding the people that are supporting the market and that are already supporting the downtown businesses.
Correct.
Yep, I think that's a great idea, and that's totally doable.
But there are people out there that shop at the market that aren't real tech savvy.
True,
and-
yes. I think that's one of the hangups with the program too, but we're getting there. Yep. Awesome. Okay, so coupon, got it. We're gonna work on that.
And we have
together.
the paper, the do not duplicate paper. So we're already ready for, we can do that.
And I think the open flags have been ordered for all the
They have,
downtown businesses.
they have,
Were they delivered yet or not yet?
they haven't been delivered to us.
Okay, sure.
Anyone have any more questions for Kristen? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Item 6B, update from 6S Engineering regarding the hike and bike trail bridge.
That is in your packet. The information is within your packet. There's a report from 6S Engineering giving 3 different options of ways to repair and make repairs to make the bridge passable. Should be directly behind the financials.
You want to kind of go through the options, please?
Sure. Okay, so AJL Engineering has provided us a report. We worked with Jess Swain in order to get this information and get things going on this bridge repair. So as you all know, the bridge on the hike and bike trail is not passable. So in order to get it replaced, we have some options. And option 1 is to replace the wood decking with new wood decking. No modifications to the structure would be anticipated. It would be a rough estimate cost of about $15,000. Engineering cost in between $3,000 and $5,000 to address the minor rusting issues that might be encountered as they're doing the repairs. That's obviously the lesser amount. Option 2, replace the wood deck with alternative composite decking. No modifications to the structure. Rough estimate cost, $25,000 to $30,000. Engineering cost on top of that would be $3,000 to $5,000 to address the minor rusting. And then we have option 3, replace the wood deck with concrete deck. And so, Alan Lopez with AJL Engineering says, it's his understanding that the city may be interested in replacing the deck with a concrete deck. The existing structure would need to be analyzed due to the increased weight of the concrete. This would entail, at a minimum, a 2D or 3D model to be generated and analyzed to determine if the existing structure could support the added weight. If the structure could not support the weight, modifications would need to be made to that structure to increase its capacity. A more thorough examination of the structure would need to be done by a testing lab to check for areas of corrosion and rusting. Concrete deck would consist of 3 to 4 foot of concrete on galvanized metal deck. Rough estimation of the cost of construction, $125,000 to $150,000, with engineering costs in the ballpark of $25,000 to $30,000.
Just to be clear, 3 to 4 inches, not 3 to 4 feet.
I'm sorry, did I say feet? I'm sorry.
A lot of concrete.
Yeah, I'm
Inches.
thinking, the
I
kind of,
apologize. Yes,
pillboxes at Normandy.
thank you. So those are the options that are available for replacing the decking on the bridge through AJL Engineering.
If I can just say something really quick. I think, Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Charlotte had been working on this, correct, with Just Wing?
Yes.
So I'm not sure, I don't think the city is really interested in going with a concrete deck.
Takes away from the,
Yeah, I think
the
we're
wooden bridge.
wanting to stay with the original appearance and with the, nature trail of it. We want to stick to it, the original, appearance of it. So I would think we would want to go with a wood decking of some sort to keep with that same appeal. That's just my opinion. I don't see doing a concrete decking on this type of thing. And I do see where they're coming back and saying that for the type of concrete decking it would take, we do need to see if that bridge could even withhold something like that. For as old as it is, and as long as it's been there, we don't know if it's weight bearing or not.
well, the theme of it being there was the old wooden bridge. I mean, that's,
Yeah,
the
and I
the
think
wood
that-
floor is a big part of it.
the thing is, I'm sure many of us, just like many of others in the community and surrounding areas have come and used that bridge for many photo op opportunities and different things that I think changing the appearance of it, we're probably gonna get some pushback from that. I think we need to stick to what we currently have.
We might want to take a look at what the model is of the composite. If it's a wood-like composite, because that bridge was in place at the same time as the other bridge was in place. The other bridge, the wood is still in very good shape,
Okay,
and they're both in place at the same time, and I don't know why the black bridge disintegrated and the red bridge didn't.
okay, so maybe we can definitely look at that, Michelle, maybe getting back with Jess and
Definitely.
looking at what the difference was there.
However, the wood was treated at that black bridge just caused a lot of deterioration much quicker than the other bridge.
We can definitely contact Jess and Alan and get working on that.
But of course, that's just my opinion on this. I would love to hear what you all have to say on it, because I do not see going with a concrete bridge, and I'm not too sure who spoke with Charlotte on this to say the city was interested in that.
I think he just gave options of what could be available. that's not specifically, we didn't ask for specifically any type of concrete. I think they just gave options of what could be available and what they could explore.
Did they say, depending on which option we went with, or if you all went with, what the turnaround would be on this as far as the construction?
They did not give us a time frame. That's something I can definitely ask.
Okay.
It seemed like the wood and the composite would be about the same timeline. The concrete one would just be, they have to re-engineer everything, build them all,
Mhm.
they'll all be retired before they even
Yeah.
pour the first yard of concrete.
None of us would be here anymore.
And we need a toll bridge to pay for it.
Yeah,
Yes, we
exactly.
would.
You can make a toll bridge, right?
One at either end of the bridge.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And I only say, let's look at what the construction time is as well, because, spring is quickly approaching and, we want to have, it available to our residents in our community.
Absolutely. That's something I can find out.
Yeah, put that together sooner than later, so at least for the next meeting, we can go forward with a plan, no?
Yeah, if we could get it on the agenda, because the cost is relatively low, because the previous city manager mentioned tens of thousands, if not over $100,000, because of the actual labor to pull each one of those
Mhm.
spikes out and replace each one of those.
This is the lowest I've seen it come in at,
Yeah.
and so I think this
This
is
is
probably
manageable.
something
Yes.
that's,
Very manageable.
that's
This is something
doable.
that's definitely doable, much more.
You know, Randy had another idea as well, and kind of on the same line with the bridge, and it was to try to, if you go from the golf course side, well, you tell, you speak better.
But I don't know which one I was bringing, I didn't
About the look from coming from the
Oh, yeah.
golf course net and then fixing the other
Yeah,
side.
and Monica's well aware of this, we're talking about, at the top by the gazebo, it says trailhead below, right? So you go down to the trailhead, and then you take that next turn, and you go through the broken path that leads to the maintenance building, it's the next trailhead. Well, then within 25 to 30 meters is the bridge, and it's,
Nothing,
you got the chain across, and the do not enter sign.
yeah.
And then if you go from the other end, which is the beer warehouse, and you go through the magical forest where it's really scary, and then you get by Bob's property where it's really, really scary, and the dogs chase you into the darkness, and then you get to the bridge with the chain, and you do not enter. So if we attract people to actually come and partake in our trail, the first thing they see is the historical representation of the Camino Real, and they start to walk, and then they get to the do not enter piece, and they probably get very confused. So that's what we were talking about, the necessity of getting that bridge up and running as soon as we can, so we have a throughput. Because when we get there, when you get to the golf course, there's also the Seguin branch, which is now called the Riverbend branch, which takes you parallel to the golf course and out to the Tipton property.
So, and that's the only part that's ever been brought up to us by the Hike and Bike Trail Committee. The Scary Forest part never has. So, I think we need to go for a ride to visit this forest.
You've got to see the Scary Forest part, believe me.
But Randy scares easy.
Well, I know he rides it quite often,
Hey,
so.
you wouldn't raise them in the morning.
We might have to go check it out. Mom.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go for a drive soon.
You said that there might be some stuff we surf around a little bit with tech up there, maybe some kind of grants we could get
Yes.
some of, and that would help a lot
Mhm.
to just get the whole project wrapped up.
Well, and the first project was pretty expensive because we also did the culverts underneath it, the drainage culverts. And that was probably the best mile to do, but if we could start to do it out towards the golf course and close the rest of the trail, that would be very very effective, and get us all the way to the golf course.
Yes. Okay, we can definitely look at that and try to visit that.
Yeah, if everybody kind of look with TechStop, and I'll reach out to them as well and see what might be out there.
And then, like I also mentioned, the 23rd of February, they're doing a presentation at Commissioner's Court, so that may be something we want to also be on.
Yeah, that's of your interest.
Question?
Thank you, Michelle, for getting this information.
Yes, definitely.
Moving to item number 7, consent agenda. We'll be both of these, they'll be voted on together, there won't be a single motion. Item 7A, consideration and possible action to approve the minutes from FEDC's regular meeting held on December 8, 2025, and consideration and possible action on financials for December 2025. You look at that first?
Yes, so we're through the first quarter of our fiscal year, 2026. So this is through December of 2025. On the percentage side, if you look at them, 25% is where we're through. So revenue-wise for sales tax, we are at $318,082. That is at 23.39%. That's where we were around last year as well. I did look though, we are almost spot on with where we were at this exact same time last year, what we received. Hopefully something comes in that will help get us just a little boost, that's all I'm asking. Our miscellaneous is at $6,000, and then bank interest is at $10,668 for a total revenue through December of $334,750. That 17% there, almost 18%, it is skewed though, because we do have a fund balance draw, so that's why right there. So like if you did do the average, it's not 17, it's just skewed due to that. The next section there is the expenses. It is broken out by personnel, supplies, and equipment. If you look for the total, we have expenses of $160,839. We are in the positive $173,911. If you look, we are well below the 25%. We are a little over on the which is the, what is it, 181, the industrial, I can't think of the word, yes. I am gonna look at that though, again, I know there's electric now there that's might be a little more, and I know water was the thing there too, if there was that water leak out there.
The water leak was at the old Phelps.
Oh,
Yes, on
that's
181.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, so,
But that's not gonna happen again, water's turned off.
okay, perfect, then. But overall, we're only at almost 9% of expenses spent, so we're well within what we budgeted. I have no concerns at all. Just thank Charlotte and Michelle, they do come to us on everything and working out good.
Does anyone have any questions for Cindy?
Like I always say, if you do want detailed on these, because these are lumped together by category, I can provide you any details you want, invoice, anything you need. I can phone call, email, send them out.
I do have one question.
Sure.
And I can tie this in because the sports park maintenance transfer was a big topic last council meeting. So how, I agree with what the council people said, and I do think that we can try to offer some assistance in getting that up and running, because I think the sports park is super important for our community. What I would like Michelle and Charlotte to maybe look at options and speaking with our attorney, what can we do to better use that piece of property to keep it up and running properly? I know there was several options, and Monica and Marissa both kind of told the community what it used to be versus what it is now, and having 24/7 employees there that work strictly on that. So I would like by next council meeting to maybe see what FEDC could do to fix that, you know.
So what we can do is, I'll have Cindy pull the numbers from the last time we were in an agreement with you all. The way it worked was, when the fields were first built and opened up, FEDC and the city split the cost on the maintenance that was performed on them. Now, don't quote me on this, I wanna say that they came in, twice a month. And it was a professional that came in and did it, and the fields looked immaculate. The city got into a position to where they can no longer afford it, and then of course, COVID happened. So that's where it kind of all went away. We were fortunate enough that we did have an employee on staff that was familiar with how the fields needed to be maintained, so we were able to keep up with them ourselves. We ended up losing that employee. So we've never been able to gain another employee like that. We have made some purchases in the last 8 hours today to try to bring those fields to a better condition than what they are.
Right.
But it is going to take, it's not just a one-time fix.
No, it's not.
It's a consistent thing, it's a daily thing. And whenever we don't have someone that completely understands what needs to be done, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, and I would just like to see what the city was obviously spending when y'all did have that employee, or that group, or that firm.
So,
So what it would
When I
cost
first
now.
got here, the EDC was giving 50,000. And then it dropped to now the 25,000 to help with the,
Right,
it helps with the pest control, you know, they come
Right.
quarterly and that kind of.
Yeah, the original 50 was for maintenance.
That was to pay for the mowing that was
Exactly.
being done,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then, but once that stopped with the mowing, because we did have the dedicated employee out there, that's when it dropped to the 25,000 to just help with the pest control, the fertilizer, that kind of thing.
because, I mean, there's options, right? I mean,
There is.
we can hire this person
Mhm.
and run a cost analysis to see what it's gonna cost to do that, as to what it would be just to turn it over to those that are, you know, hosting the events to maintain themselves. You know, is it gonna cost more to hire the employee, or just not taking the revenues that the sports park is making and allowing them to do it themselves? I think that we just need to kind of compare and see what, you know, because it seems like a lot of people in the community are adamant about that, and they're willing to do it. And so, you know, but there's a whole structure and contracts and stuff that need to be reviewed before all
There
that
is.
works out.
Yeah.
And so, I know, I'm sure you have your hands busy already, but do this one more thing, I'm just kidding. No, I think that, you know, we need to figure that out, because, you know, we want to encourage people to go out and not stay home and play video games and do things like that. So, if we can get that up and running, and then maybe even look to the rodeo arena and see what we can do there. You know, there's rodeos that happen all around us, and Floresville's, you know, doesn't have that, and so maybe trying to bring something like that back and encourage, you know, the event center and things like that to be used.
Okay.
Yeah, and possibly maybe even also looking at someone to come in and get the fields back to how they used to be. And then maybe every quarter have somebody come in, do that maintenance, and then have, you know.
We did think about that, having somebody come in just to kind of get them to the condition that they needed to be in. It's basically, what does the council want to do with it at this point?
Right.
They did approve going out for this RFQ, so we'll see what that comes back in at. Right now, we're doing our best that we can to get them in the best condition that we can. They do need help though, they really do. It's not just the baseball fields, the football fields need help too. I'm sure some of you have seen the football fields, the grass needs to grow. So we need to do some maintenance there, and the arena needs help too. I know that, the Kennedy complex was brought up a lot during that meeting. The difference between us and them is they are a turf field.
Right.
We are not a turf field.
I think the turf costs several $1 million, doesn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's all right, I mean, it's just,
Right.
yeah.
So we will do the best that we can.
No, I agree. I just think that it's something that we need to look forward to, because if we just keep talking about it,
No,
same time
definitely.
everything.
So, we'll pull, the numbers, I'm gonna Cindy look that up, and then I'll, pull out the stuff that we had from last time, and,
Well, just
bring it back to you all in the next meeting, so you know what it looks like.
I don't think there's a single person on this board that would be opposed to trying their best to help the, you know, that. And speaking with our attorney, it is an economic development thing, so I think we can do it. It's just, let's do it, you know, let's not talk about it, let's just do it, and then let's serve the community.
But then you could come up with a pretty good number, couldn't you, between now and then, of what it would cost just to get it into shape?
We have them already.
Just the dirt or clay alone, for all 4 fields was $20,000.
And that gets you how far down the bay that the field's being in tip-top shape?
They'll be playable for the season. So that's about it. And then we had to order the backstops, that was another 1,000, yeah.
And then we're getting butter blocks.
We need better blocks. I'm sure some of you have seen on social media how they were complaining of a road that was washed out, but that really is not a road.
Right,
So we're
right.
having to block off some areas so they're not parking in the grass area.
They're just parking in the designated.
But this doesn't bring any new turf or anything, and it's
This
just,
does not bring in any turf or anything. This is basically, getting the fields into a playing condition and working with what we have now.
I know the guys are out trying to do the stickers right now
Yeah.
too. That's what they're working on right now too.
how hard you go. Well, I guess we just need guidance, those are good numbers there. You got something that's not going to be worked with.
I know that they were gonna get numbers on, there was conditioner and chalk that was gonna be ordered too as well, so.
Well, I know the season's probably starting before our next council meeting, so I don't know what we can do or how we can be of assistance.
I know,
On our side.
I believe their season starts officially, mid to end March. I know their practices start sometime, I think, in February. So we are just trying to do what we can right now. The plan is to meet with them and let them know we're working one field at a time, to deal with pitching and conditioning. For those of you that have not seen it, the playground at Pecan Park is now complete, so thank you all for that. Myself and Ray and the mayor and some other staff met with Phelps out there last week. They are going to be doing some upgrading to the lighting out there so that there is more proper lighting, and there will be some camera systems that Phelps will be installing as a security mechanism for the playground. It'll cover the entire playground, to my understanding. Our public works director is going to look into some additional lighting for along the trail as well, instead of just the decorative lighting that's there. Toledo doesn't give off a whole lot of light, so we're gonna add some additional lighting to that if we can.
Look at this. Is there a place here that we possibly could take action on this field upgrade meeting?
Not on anything come on here.
So I could get it done.
We'll have to put on the next one. Yeah, because you really don't have anything to cover it.
Even if the city does it, we can see whether we're.
Yeah, I think it's up to the whole board, of course, but I think the board would be interested. How long, if you'll have the money tomorrow, how long would it take to
We're doing it.
get it done?
We are doing it, so we have to work one field at a time. Each field will take us about a week, 2 to 2 weeks to get done. And that's why we're going to meet with Little League and let them know as we're working one field, please stay off of it. So until we complete it, we move on to the next one.
I mean, I think it's everybody's opinion, but I think FETC would be in favor of working with, to get this done. We can certainly put it on our agenda for next time, but we need to probably take action before that. So if we were to do something, is it something you'd like to do a reimbursement, or how would that play out?
We would have to do it as a
You give us
reimbursement.
that, Randy? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can't take action on it right now, and I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not acting as a lawyer, but I just assume that we can't take action on it.
No, we
We
can't
don't
do it.
have an item that would even come close to,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Well, we can assure it's an agenda item next meeting.
Yeah, but you can pass it down the trail that we're very favorable.
okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
That might help
Yes, sir?
some hard work. Good deal. Thank all of y'all. Okay, we need to go through our minutes, and we need to have a motion, please.
Everything looks fine and dandy to me. So I will make a motion to approve the financial statement and the meeting minutes.
Motion by Ben,
I'll second.
second by Randy. All in favor, please raise your right hand. 4-0. Thank you. Item 8, discussion and possible action concerning discussion and possible action to approve marketing and advertising the South Texas Home and Garden Show posted by the Wilson County News to be held on March 21st, 2026. Do we have any citizens' comments?
As representative of Wilson County News, I would like a moment, please. Y'all should have our flyer for sponsorship in your packet. It looks like this, has the sponsorship items on the other side. And
Your name, please?
everyone here.
Your name.
My name is Randy Hawkins.
Thank you.
I am customer service specialist and South Texas Home and Garden Show coordinator. We are requesting that the Floresville Economic Development Corporation would join us again as a sponsor this year at the platinum sponsorship level. The platinum level includes a booth at the show, should there be anyone who would like to participate at the show, sharing information about the Floresville Economic Development Corporation, a full page in the Spring Home magazine, which I just sent out on each station, sponsor recognition and promotions throughout all of the South Texas Home and Garden Show website, social media, and in the newspaper. Mike Spotlight on stage, WCN Live interview that runs on Facebook, sponsorship recognition on WOAI iHeart radio station, and a home and garden t-shirt, which is similar to what I have on right now, and 25 home and garden magazines to hand out, either at City Hall or at FEDC. Some of the benefits of your sponsorship, and what Wilson County News is doing for the community. The Floresville Chamber of Commerce is permitted to run the concessions and keep the funds from the sales at the event from the whole day for their benefit. We will be running a Texas 2x2, which is a 2x2 ad throughout all of the southern region, which goes down to the, down to Brownsville, Corpus, Houston, Crockett, Belton, Austin, and all the areas in between. That's an additional 68 newspapers with 165,442 circulation. Additional advertising spots for the iHeart radio station, WOAI. Last year, I think we had 3 spots, and it was like one the week before the show, and then 2 the day of the show. And they do a special home and garden show on Saturdays, and that is where our ad would run in conjunction with that show. I believe we also plan on having David Rodriguez, who was on that show, possibly coming as a guest speaker. We will be utilizing some of the gym area for guest speakers as well. We usually have over 100 vendors. Our out-of-towners last year totaled 160 people from just our sponsors and our vendors, not including those that came in from out of the area. And covering everything that we do between now and the show to get it going. So I appreciate y'all's time tonight and hope that y'all would approve the platinum sponsorship. Any questions?
Do you have any questions, anybody? Cindy, what did we do last year?
I think last year, I wanna say Charlotte said that it was 1,500 last year.
How much?
1,500, the gold sponsorship.
The sponsorship levels changed this year, so the gold was the platinum last year. And there was a $500 sponsorship.
Inflation is terrible.
Everything's going up, unfortunately.
Chris, is there a way that perhaps we could help them a little bit with the marketing from our side of it, with the downtown market, as far as at least reaching out for that day, with something we could do or not do? Just a thought.
Yeah, I can definitely think on that and get back to you.
Just think about it.
The market is always wanting to collaborate, but
Okay.
frankly, that's,
And I did also want to say, we have been pushing the, open rewards at the shop as well, in C Street, and Wilson County News, and we have that buffer of, I'm not sure how this works with technology, and they're not certain of if they want to link their card or their, checking account to the app. But otherwise, it's been a good response, so one year.
And just to be clear, you don't have to link your card.
Right, and I told her I didn't think so.
You do not, yeah, so if anybody asks you, you can let them know you do not have to link your bank account.
I will.
Anybody have more questions?
sponsorship.
I have a motion by Ben to approve the platinum sponsorship,
I'll second the motion.
second by Henrietta.
Bernadette.
Bernadette. Sorry, Bernadette. I didn't- All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor too. Okay. Opposed, 4-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Eight B, discussion and possible action to approve hiring contractors to work at the downtown Floresville market during the peak hours when needed. Any citizens' comments? Very well.
If there isn't, I'll go ahead and interject. I would agree that, you know, the market does need some sort of help. But instead of contracting it out to somebody that's far from Floresville, is there any way that we could partner with the city and maybe use city employees, but just pay their overtime or do something along those lines? Because it keeps the money in Floresville and it's not getting shipped away to San Antonio or wherever else.
I thought they were already helping the wrong contact.
So I think if I'm correct, they go out in the morning to set you all up, correct?
They do.
And then they leave,
And then they come back and they tear down.
but they're not there throughout the market.
And I
What
think
they're
that's what
talking
they're
about is
needing.
throughout the market.
Yeah, and just the cleanup.
The cleanup stuff.
I think Kristen, come in.
Yes, yeah, so right now, we hired a company, they helped clean up for the December event. The December event was very, 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 very busy, and we were very short-handed due to sickness. There were several other events going on, so some of our volunteers weren't able to attend. So it was literally me and Michelle for the first maybe hour, couple hours. And it went well. We were able to complete, you know, our tasks. It was a little stressful, but we handled it. It would just be a lot easier if we had more support. So checking vendors in, that kind of thing. The cleaning up is a big deal. But yeah, I think we're just looking, some of our volunteers can be there, some can't. So we've been reaching out to schools to see if we could get some people or kids to volunteer that are on like the National Honor Society who require, you know, X amount of hours community service. So we've opened those doors remain open, but we just don't have any people that are interested in it, so we're just shorthanded and seeking help.
So if we were to go out and hire contractors, what is it that you're hiring? What is their role gonna be?
Cleaning, like cleaning up the trash, being present to just handle on-site issues, mostly just the trash.
And about how many, in that December market, when we hired that group, how many people came out?
How many workers were there?
There were three, yes, there were three. The company brought three, of their employees. The owner was on site with them, working with them, and they kept the trash, they kept it spotless, completely picked up. And Krista didn't have to worry about it. We didn't have to worry about trying to go out and get that done afterwards. And we didn't have any complaints, from city or county that we left trash everywhere. So it was beneficial.
I guess my thing is if, you know, you have city employees that want the extra work and as overtime or whatever it is, you know, throw them a bone and see if this is what they want to do. I mean, it's once a month. I just want to keep the money here. You know, and I love supporting local businesses, don't forget me. But it's just more of the fact that the employees are already dedicated to working for this community, so why not try to give them extra work? Because who doesn't want to stay in the forest on the week?
So the only thing is, can they pay for the different departments?
They can just rent those, like we bill the overtime salary, and we would pay it back.
You just have to be careful also with legal, because it does become legal if you're paying them at this rate, and they're doing a different type of a job, so it does
Yeah.
become an issue. I would just have to make sure, because you can't have somebody at this rate and you're gonna have them doing this job. And, you know, if they make more or less, but you're paying them different, it's an issue.
It's a good point.
So I think we probably need to wait for our attorney to return and just confirm it with him. I think you'll have a meeting before the next market, right?
We will,
Yes.
Yeah.
we should.
We can get this squared away before then and know what route we need to take.
So yeah, maybe we table this item now, and ideally by then we'll have some sort of answer. And if we need to hire, the firm again to pick up the trash for the next meeting, we can, until we can kind of get a structure involved with the city employees, and then, we go from there.
And then Michelle, maybe one thing to look into might be like, Sacred Heart for their confirmation. Their kids have to have X number of hours of community service, not community service, but help working in the public. So they may be able to pick up some people that might want to sign up to help them work.
Yeah, anything like that would be, be great.
But you need a baseline of 3, right, Krista?
For our heavier markets, like the December market, 3 would be great. For the other markets, 1 or 2.
You have the available.
I would say at least 2. Yeah. We can do it. We just need to know ahead of time, so we can put them on a schedule.
I would think somebody would want to pick up the extra money.
I mean, there's guys that are already on call.
Yeah.
Somewhere in a motion.
Motion to table it for the next meeting.
Motion by Ryan,
Second.
second by Randy, all in favor, please raise your right hand. 4-0, thank you. Okay, we are gonna need a motion to table the executive session. We do not have an attorney with us at this time.
I move that we table the executive session.
Motion by Randy, second by Bernadette. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? 4-0, thank you. Very well, that being said, we do have one more thing on the end here. 11A, schedule date, time to discuss the facade and signage grant changes with the volunteer committee. Michelle?
Yes, so Angela's not here, Ben, I guess we can just, between you, Angela, Charlotte, and myself, we can text with each other and come up with a time that would work for everyone so that we can meet up and start working on that. We'll be in touch.
Do we have an assistant director's update?
I have a small update to give on Charlotte's behalf. So we're currently working on bids for the distribution center, which we had discussed at the previous board meeting. Bids are coming in on buy board for, updating and adding equipment to the skate park, which was approved, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years ago. And that's something that we're working on, getting the equipment out there and getting that done. Again, you saw the bids from 6S Engineering for repairing the deck on the bridge, working on that as well. And as Monica mentioned, Ray, Monica, David, Ashley, the mayor, and Aaron and Devin from Phelps, we all met and went around to the different parks within the city. And Phelps will be providing internet and camera access to all of those parks, helping with lighting and aesthetics, helping us take down some of the poles that are not needed, some of the, and working with the city as well, getting rid of obsolete plugs and boxes that might have live wires that aren't necessarily being used anymore, and getting all of that removed and getting everything safe and up to code for all of our community to enjoy. And the lights at the Watts Park have already been repaired and replaced, on the basketball court.
That's great.
Look very nice. So, that's pretty much what we have for the update from the last month with the holiday and all.
You want to have any more questions for Michelle?
I might need this on this, but what was the issue with the food pantry? Did we end up that they were gonna use that facility? They're not gonna use it?
We're waiting for those guys to come in and they haven't shown up to give us the bid. We're trying to work in time, but it's not, we can't get, you gotta help them, we have to pay us
Yeah,
something.
working on bids.
Okay.
Working on
Yeah.
bids to see what we can do.
We tried.
Okay, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we're working on that in the process.
Very well. With that being said, meeting is adjourned.